In our first semifinal of the day, 11th ranked Notre Dame and 14th ranked Florida State. The winner advances for a spot in the final. Notre Dame got here with a late goal from its National Player of the Year to eliminate Duke, while Florida State needed a hat trick from a freshman. The final tally, a golden goal to knock out UConn. Our second semifinal coming up tonight will be Southern Cal against the top seed and the #1 ranked UCLA Bruins. And welcome to Aggieland. I'm Beth Mullins along with Tony DeChico, who will be coaching the Boston Breakers when the new Women's Professional Soccer League kicks off in a couple of seasons. And Tony, these two teams very familiar with one another. In fact, they met a year ago in the semis, and it was the Irish getting the win to advance.
Well, you're right, Beth. These teams know each other. Notre Dame's going to use set pieces, fighting power for the Fighting Irish. They're big, they're strong, they're athletic. Florida State needs to possess the ball and get it to their personality players.
And let's talk about the Fighting Irish and their firepower. Quite a threesome they've got up top.
Well, you've got Hanks, Bach, and Weisenhower, and look at the number of goals they scored, 130 goals. That's terrifying for any defense.
Each of them scored in the quarterfinal win against Duke. Hanks was last year's National Player of the Year. Bach has a good shot to get it this year, and Weisenhower very dangerous coming back from an injury. From the Fighting Irish threesome, we go to the international twosome at Florida State and Yamaguchi and Talonen.
Right, they're from Japan and Finland, but they speak the language of soccer. They know how to score goals, and they're very, very dynamic. The Notre Dame defense is going to have their hands full with those two.
Yamaguchi, the ACC Player of the Year, and Talonen, the finishing Finn, has 7 goals in the NCAA tournament, including a pair of hat tricks for FSU. It's Florida State and Notre Dame in the national semis. The Noles hoping to go farther than they've ever been before. But the Fighting Irish, well, they've got other plans, dreams of their own. Welcome back to the College Cup. Early in the season, things weren't looking so good for the Irish, but as Quint Kesnick reports, it was quite a turnaround.
Yes, it's been a turnaround, really a tale of 2 seasons for the Irish. They started off the year 3-4-1, and that's when head coach Randy Waldrum pulled the team together and had a very blunt meeting. He said, you lose another game, you're not going to the NCAA tournament. All they've done since then, they've won 16, they've tied 1. They haven't lost a game since September 23rd. It's all been about effort and practice. I spoke to Kerry Hanks. She says, we learned it's the little moments within a game that matter, and right now this team is on the cusp of a very big moment.
Well, Quint, it was a 17-match unbeaten streak that they bring into the College Cup, following on the heels of the worst start at Notre Dame in nearly 2 decades. And they have really turned things around nicely. And their road to this championship includes an upset at North Carolina, knocking out the defending champs. They are a very confident bunch, but it's Mami Yamaguchi with the goal 15 seconds into the game. What a start for Florida State. The freshman DaCosta with the assist. Yamaguchi, her 24th tally on the season.
Take a look at this little ball that's put in behind the defense by DaCosta. Perfectly weighted. Yamaguchi makes a great run, and when she gets in that part of the field, she knows what to do.
Mami Yamaguchi, the ACC Player of the Year. And a huge start for Florida State. And it's the first time in this entire NCAA tournament that Notre Dame finds itself trailing.
Here's that goal again. Yamaguchi just tucks it under a sprinting Karras, and that's got to be the quickest goal in Women's Cup history. I don't know how it can be faster than that. But here's where Notre Dame is very dangerous. Weisenhower has this long throw, and you can see what they do. There's no offsides on the throw-in, and it's in the box.
It's the flip throw that she does so well.
Now, strangely enough, Beth, sometimes when the team scores that early, it actually takes them out of their game. Instead of being aggressive, they get a little bit protective and they lose the initiative.
The Irish trying to possess a little bit. Kicked over the top. Libby Gianeskis is going to let this one go over the end line, and a free kick for Erin McNulty. Well, that will settle down the freshman goalkeeper for Florida State as well, knowing that she's got a bit of a cushion to work with.
Goalkeepers love to get early leads.
A stunning start here at the Aggie Soccer Complex. The Irish behind for the first time in this postseason. Let's take a look at the lineups with McNulty, the 6-foot Canadian freshman, in goal.
Well, she's a freshman, but she's had an outstanding season. And then you've got Gianeskis in the center of defense, a U21 national team player. She's going to have to be very good against this three front. And then DaCosta's already showed. Here's a freshman. She's already showed what she can do. And of course, Yamaguchi has also demonstrated how lethal she is if she gets a chance.
Player down near midfield for Florida State is Libby Gianeskis, the senior from Tarpon Springs, Florida. And the collision with Brittany Bach.
Number 12, Libby Gianeskis.
She got the worst of that. Very good signs for Florida State fans that she was able to get up.
Yeah, she's critical. Her experience back there is critical. This is a very good defense, and they're going to have to be.
Seminoles in white, the Irish in blue. Chipped into the area. McNulty will corral it with Weissenhofer giving chase.
And you're going to see Notre Dame is going to be more direct like that.
We'll see how the early goal affects Karras. 17 wins on the season.
And she didn't start the season as the #1 goalkeeper, but she's gotten there out of great work and being very, very sound. And then you've got Dew, U20 national team player in the center of defense. Sonali is an excellent attacking midfielder, knows how to get in herself, but can set up the other three. And of course, up front, you've got Hanks, leading scorer for the Irish, but she's complemented with Bach and with Weisenhower. Those three are a load for any defense.
Hanks won the Mac Herman Award last year and has a chance to win it twice. That's only happened on 3 other occasions. Mia Hamm, Cindy Parlow, and Christine Sinclair have all won it 2 times.
Good company.
Very good company to keep for Carey.
But you know what? She'd rather win a national championship than the Herman Trophy.
Oh, yeah. There is only one player on the team, one starter, and that's Sonali, that played and started, I should say, in their 2004 College Cup victory, which they won in penalty kicks against UCLA. The Bruins will be taking on Southern Cal in our second semifinal here in College Station. Mami Yamaguchi with the goal just 15 seconds into the match, assisted by freshman Amanda DaCosta. Yamaguchi, a terrific story. Last year, she scored 16 points. They had other options. They had other scorers. This year, they needed her offense, and she's responded with a 63-point season. And that's what she's done so far in the NCAA tournament.
Well, she has great soccer pedigree. She sees the game. You can see by the quality of that run she made to get in.
This is Sonali. Tripped up, and a free kick coming up for the Irish.
And they are dangerous on set pieces. They have a great heading presence. They're going to serve balls into the penalty area. And although if I'm Florida State, I'd rather have the free kick coming directly in from here rather than the flanks.
Hanks will take a lot of their set pieces, and Carey will line this one up pretty much straight on to McNulty with the wall there in the way. She'll try and boost it over the top, and it takes the one hopper right to Aaron. McNulty's a member of the Canadian U20 national team. And when you talk to Mark Krikorian, the Florida State head coach, all the folks that he's talked to north of the border say that she's got a great shot in the future of being a starting keeper for the full national side.
Here's DaCosta again. You can see how dangerous she is.
And she gets tripped up.
Foul call on Notre Dame.
The foul on Amanda Clark. So now a set piece coming up for Florida State with the 1-0 lead.
Clark and Rosen are going to have to contain her, because if she gets the ball and starts running at defenders, she can tear a defense apart.
Kirsten Vandeven's a very good target on the far side. Yamaguchi will take it herself, trying to bend it in and just missed it wide.
Question was she shooting or serving? And by the nature of that, it looks like a shot on goal. She might have been trying to catch Karras coming for a cross and mix her up. Karras, though, is pretty experienced back there and made the play.
You may have taken note already of the makeup of this Florida State team. It's got quite the international flavor. 7 different countries represented, 6 different states in the U.S. represented.
And that was Schmidt who just passed the ball. Now DaCosta has a look, and she's running at defenders again.
Deflected down and then cleared out by the Notre Dame defense.
I think that time, though, she made a little bit of a freshman mistake. She had Pelser wide open on the flank, decided to take the shot.
Bach with her back to goal. Now Weisenhofer has some space. Bach plays it back out on the left flank. Looking for Hanks up top. Cleared out of there by Becky Edwards, one of their stalwarts on defense. Irish work the give and go. Scheidler, another rookie, coming up from her defensive spot. Taken away by Schmidt, and the foul will be called on Notre Dame.
And I was talking to Coach Krikorian. He wants it to be a tightly called game by the referee. He feels that if it's an open, aggressive style that the referee allows, it will favor Notre Dame.
Krikorian's in his 3rd season in Tallahassee. Each of their first 3 years, they have gone to the College Cup, looking for their first trip to the final. This, by the way, is the first time in their 3 trips that they have had the lead. They went one other time under the guidance of former coach Patrick Baker, and they also fell behind in that match as well. So this is new territory for the Seminoles. Julie Scheidler, the freshman from Indianapolis, will take the throw-in. Notre Dame will keep possession. The Irish coming in on that 17-match unbeaten streak. In their 9th College Cup, they've got 2 national championships, the most recent in 2004. Florida State will take it.
Coach Waldron for Notre Dame just loves the way this team fights back. He feels that they can go behind in a game and still find a way to win, and now he'll be able to test his theory.
They certainly have the firepower to do it if they can maintain the possession. Both these coaches talked to us about ball control being so important. For Florida State, on the other hand, Krikorian's got the best scoring team that they've ever had at Florida State. He says this is certainly their most technically sound group since he has been in town.
You can see McNulty gave up a long throw-in, and that, I'm sure, is not what they want to do.
Another flip throw deep into the penalty area. Rosens tries to one-time it. Yamaguchi with the deflection, and finally cleared out of the box. Irish try and play it right back in front. Hanks popped it up. And the blast right at McNulty off the boot of Amanda Sonali. The freshman in the right place at the right time for FSU.
Here comes the attempted clear and the shot by Sonali, and McNulty makes the save. But the key is you can't give up those long throw-ins. That all came off a long throw-in. You can't give them up to Notre Dame.
I'm sure Florida State realizes that the 1-goal lead is a shaky one against the Irish. They've scored 3 goals on a couple of different occasions already in this NCAA tournament. Longing around midfield, and now Katrine Schmidt.
Well taken down there by Talonen.
Talonen, the finishing Finn, gives it up. And the shot right into her teammate Van de Ven while she was down on the turf. Tough break there for the Seminoles. They'll regroup now on the left flank. Schmidt, the errant pass looking for Yamaguchi. DaCosta checking for time. Doesn't have much of it, but maintains possession. And the whistle will go against Sonali, and another free kick coming up for the Seminoles with the 1-0 lead on the Mami Yamaguchi goal in the first minute of play here in the national semis. It was the quickest in the 26-year history of this event.
That one will be tough to beat. But you know, Beth, I'm very impressed with DaCosta.
She's controlling that midfield right now for Florida State. Just a freshman out of Summers, New York. Yamaguchi, not enough air under it. And it will go all the way back to Karras. Lauren, the senior from Flower Mound, Texas, one of 7 Texans coming home with this Notre Dame team. And you can also throw in head coach Randy Waldrum and his son Ben, the assistant for the Fighting Irish. They have a very Texas flavor and a very Midwestern flavor from around the Chicagoland area on their roster. Out of the Big East Conference.
They're trying to be ACC killers. This is the third ACC team they played in a row. UNC, they beat 3-2. Duke, they survived, and now they're here against Florida State.
They all talked yesterday when we were speaking with them about the big confidence boost they got from going to Carolina and knocking off the Tar Heels. Then they went back home and showed some resiliency after losing a 2-0 lead against Duke. Hanks got the game winner late to send them through.
Now this is the first time in this postseason that they've been behind. So again, Coach Waldron feels they have great resiliency. Sure, he hasn't hit any panic button here. They're getting some opportunities.
The Irish in blue with possession in the midfield. Amanda Clark, one of their Bulldogs, central midfield. Bach looking to control. And deflected over the end line. It's going to be a corner kick. Let's check in with Quint.
Beth, Notre Dame's bench after that goal by Florida State early, really down and deflated. Kind of a worst-case scenario. You bring an experienced team here, and you give up a goal within the first minute. But signs that they're perking up now. The ladies on their feet, Coach Randy Waldrum on his feet, and they're starting to make some plays. Kind of a microcosm of their season, Beth. Slow start, looking for a fast finish.
Here's the corner kick. Far post and ricochets in for the goal. Carrie Dew with the redirect.
Off of Becky Edwards' volley.
Carrie Dew ties it up for Notre Dame.
Here it comes, the serve is in. Edwards on the back post, deflected in by Dew, and the set pieces, as we've been saying all along, Notre Dame is so good with their set pieces.
Carrie Dew, last year's Big East Defensive Player of the Year, hurt her ACL in their final regular season match. She was unable to play in the NCAA tournament, missed out on last year's College Cup, and now coming all the way back from the ACL and able to tie it up for the Irish. Yeah, this one will play all the way through to Karras. '15th minute. So we've had one in 15 seconds, and now here in the 15th minute, Dew for the Irish.
Momentum swings.
Too many weapons out there, Tony, for this one to have been a shutout on either side.
A lot of firepower, that's for sure. You know what was interesting about that goal? The build-up to it was a lot of possession by Notre Dame, and they usually like to play more direct.
Well, as we've talked about, this a rematch of last year's national semifinal in Cary, North Carolina. And it was the Fighting Irish getting the job done.
On a set piece.
Yep, Krivacek had one, and Courtney Rosen had the second one, and Rosen's back again this year, 2-1 the final for the Irish.
And that second goal by the Irish was from a giveaway, Florida State trying to possess the ball. So they're going to be putting their backs under pressure to try to look for another giveaway.
Carrie Hanks will take the free kick. Into the area, looking for the head of Dew again, and this one goes right to McNulty. Boy, the Irish looking strong on their set pieces so far, dangerous.
And if you look at the two game plans, Florida State needing to possess the ball, they're really not possessing it enough. And Notre Dame trying to get set pieces. They're very, very successful with their set pieces. They're getting a lot of them. We're
going to hear from you and watch Carrie Hanks work with some set pieces on our Home Depot coaching clinic coming up later on. This is Hanks trying to slide it through to Bach. As Quint reported earlier, the big turnaround certainly started with the Randy Waldrum discussion, but also a move that the coach made to take Bach from the midfield and bump her up top. And that also resulted in more scoring and much more productivity for the Irish. That seems to be the right combo for them, and they're going to have another corner kick right here.
He changed the whole back line, including Karras in goal. Experimenting early in the season when they had their slow start. Here's another corner kick for Notre Dame.
This is how they scored their last goal. Looking for Dew. Hanks swings this one in. Deflected again, and Rosen puts it over the top.
Now, you know you're successful with your set pieces, not only if you score goals, but if you get shots off. And they've gotten shots off, long throw-ins on both their corners. Florida State has to make some adjustments and not allow Notre Dame to get those touches in the penalty area.
Not only did Randy Waldrum shake things up top, but also experimented early to rebuild the defense for the Fighting Irish.
So we really had a completely brand new back line. And it took us a while to find the group of players that really were going to, be the ones to get it done for us. And we went through probably 5 or 6 different lineups in that back line before we finally settled on what we have now.
Yeah, they went through a lot of changes through graduation. They lost Christy Shaner and Kim Lorenzen. And then Haley Ford, who they thought would be back there, went out with a knee injury. So they had to really move some folks around. And the result is a defensive alignment for Notre Dame that had Dew coming back from her knee injury, a couple of freshmen, and a transfer. And it took a while for them to come together, and as you talked about, Randy Waldrum also experimented with different goalkeepers. He started out with Karras, then played a couple other players, and was very frank yesterday when he told the media that, hey, that was a coaching mistake on my part. I really shouldn't have moved them around as much, and Karras has come back and regained her confidence.
And she's been very solid. Now, what's good for Florida State is just in the last couple of possessions, Van der Ven has gotten the ball. And she should get it again here. And if she gets the ball, she'll spray it. She has great knowledge and tactical understanding. She'll start spraying it around and give them a little bit more possession.
All the way to the back row for Florida State, and Becky Edwards, a sophomore from Downingtown, Pennsylvania, was telling us yesterday about how all the international players enhance their experience as student athletes. They get to sample different fashion, different foods, different lifestyles from all around the world. With the likes of Yamaguchi and Talonen and Katrine Schmidt. Here she is on the ball, looking to play it to Sana wide, and Karras is there. Good coverage defensively by Elise Weber, the junior transfer from Wisconsin. here's what we're talking about from around the world, the United Nations in Tallahassee.
Well, Coach Krikorian has always had great relationships in Europe and around the world to bring in players, regardless of where he coached. Now he's able at Florida State to also attract some of the best American players.
Mark has had success on the collegiate level, in the professional ranks, near the WUSA before he arrived at Florida State. And the ball will go to Notre Dame on the left side. Yamaguchi with a goal for Florida State 15 seconds into this match. And then in the 15th minute, the equalizer off the corner kick on the redirect by Carrie Dew, the defender coming up for Notre Dame to score just her second goal of the season.
Maybe her biggest goal of the season.
Her goalkeeper, Karis, told us yesterday that Carrie has such a calming effect on her teammates. When the ball's at her feet, we know good things are going to happen. Something real good happened in the 15th minute here to tie it up, as the Irish showed us quickly that they are able to come back from what was their first deficit of this NCAA tournament. The cross. Hanks right at McNulty on the near post.
They are dangerous. Any flank service, they get on the end of it or make sure that the defense cannot clear it effectively. And now the ball's free in the penalty area and they're ready to pounce on it. 130
career goals for that threesome of Hanks, Bach, and Weisenhofer. Collision at midfield. Kristen van de Ven, VDV, the senior from the Netherlands. A little slow to get up. She had a couple of goals in their win against LSU in their drive to the tournament. We've got a whistle, a scrap for the loose ball.
Folks has done a very good job on Yamaguchi. If she gets it, and it's been hard for her to get it, she just hasn't been able to turn with it. Folks has really put her under a lot of pressure.
Close to the midway point now of this first half. The free kick right at Karis. And the Irish will be able to clear it out. That was Talonen who was trying to streak under that one.
Edwards' free kick, it can be a dangerous free kick. Has to be driven a little harder and a little bit lower, and then the goalkeeper really has trouble tracking it. Often you see those end up in the back of the net and nobody even touches it because they're bending towards the goal.
Bach settling at midfield. Hanks. Weisenhofer trying to run on. Gianeskis has it well covered. Libby will turn it to the outside.
You just say which team is imposing their style on the game, it's clearly Notre Dame. This is being played the way Notre Dame likes to play games.
They've got the run of the action for the most part here. Yamaguchi. DaCosta. She's displayed some fancy footwork here in the first half. And the sliding tackle made by Dew in midfield. Hanks, look at the burst from Carrie Hanks. Thinking about the left-footed shot, plays it out wide. Weisenhofer lofts it in, looking for Bach, and it's off the head of Gianeskis. Notre Dame with another chance. And the ricochet will go over the end line for a corner kick. That was Weber pushing forward for Notre Dame.
What you've got to like about Notre Dame is they are so quick to pick up the second ball, the half-cleared ball, after two players challenge for it. They're so quick, and in this part of the field where they don't have quite the numbers, they're still getting on the end of them and getting shots off from them.
Hanks, once again, will get herself set for the corner kick.
Watch Dew here, number 19. She's obviously a target.
She's trying to get under it. It goes a little bit beyond her. Still not out. Talonen tries to clear it out. And then the miss hit from Weber. And we've got a timeout here midway through the first half. Well, there are some changes afoot with the U.S. national team. Team USA will look overseas to help bring home the gold medal next summer. More on that when we come back. Welcome back to the 2007 Women's College Cup. Yamaguchi with the early tally for Florida State and the counter for Notre Dame. And Carrie Dew were all tied up at 1 apiece. There's a new coach for the U.S. national team, Pia Sundhage, and she is standing by right now with our Quint Kesnick.
Thank you, Beth. And the ultimate goal for Pia is going to be the 2008 Olympics. You take this job. What's the biggest challenge that you're facing right now?
Well, I will meet the team for the first time tomorrow, and it will be to put together a team that will be comfortable with the ball and try to win some games.
Tomorrow you have a mini camp at the Home Depot Center in Carson, yet you're here today. Why are you here?
Because I have a chance to watch soccer, and it's nice to come to Texas, and there's a couple of players that is interesting in the future. So that's why I'm here.
You've been described to have an attacking style. I want to hear from you. Describe your coaching style.
Well, I think it's about keep possession and switch the point of attack to find the right time to find the deep pass. So it's about rhythm of the game and tempo. It's not only the highest tempo, it could slow down as well.
What type of environment do you need to create?
I think you have to expect that everybody could keep the ball and knock it around a little bit, and high expectation of everybody, and challenge each other.
Your experience as a player and as an assistant coach on the international level, how is that a plus?
I know how it feels to be the last one in the back four and get the ball. I know also it feels to be in the midfield and facing your own goal or have a scoring chance. And I think my strength is to be on the field and to make whatever is happening in the game coachable.
Thank you, Pia. Good luck.
Thank you.
Best of luck, Beth.
Thank you very much, Quint. Pia will meet with the team this weekend out in Southern California. She'll be the first foreign head coach for the U.S. national team.
Well, I coached against Pia, and if I was putting 11 players on the field, she'd be one of the 11. That's how good of a player she was. And she's also, I think, you heard her, she wants to bring a more possession style to the U.S., and I think she will. She's a very, very excellent soccer coach as well as a former player.
And here are some of the young players that she was referring to that she'll be taking a look at that have all had experience with the U20 and U21 national teams. They're first and foremost will be the Four Nations Cup in January over in China, and then they'll have to qualify for the Olympics in April. And then, of course, the goal is to get the gold in Beijing, coming off that disappointing third-place finish in the World Cup. Both goalkeepers, Hope Solo and Brian Ascuri, have been invited to the camp, but we do understand that Christine Lilly will not be in camp. She is still deciding what her future will be, the 36-year-old captain for Team USA, as to whether or not she will continue her career. Substitution for Florida State. Mendoza has come on. Or check that for Notre Dame. Rebecca Mendoza, the junior from Garland, Texas, back home in the state of Texas, where she was a former high school player of the year. Trying to run onto it. Able to get it for the Irish in blue, Florida State in white. Beth Mowens, Tony DeChico, Quint Kesnick. First half of our first national semifinal, UCLA and USC, will be coming up next. The Bruins, the #1 team in the nation, in their 6th College Cup, looking for their first ever championship, while USC is here for the first time in school history under their first-year head coach, Ali Khosrow Shaheen.
I'm glad you said that.
Weisenhofer. Hanks rather. Van de Ven back to take it away. Van de Ven, to give you a little flavor for the international players, certainly a shared experience for them, and they, a lot of them are roommates in Tallahassee. At senior day this year, you know, usually you have your mom or your dad go out for senior day. Well, neither of them could make it from the Netherlands, so it was the other foreign players. It was Mammy and Katrine Schmidt and Sanne Talonen who stepped in and became her parents on senior day for Kirsten Vandeven in Tallahassee.
I see at the break that Schweitzer has come in for Florida State, replacing Casbar here on the left flank midfield.
So Lauren Schweitzer, the sophomore from St. Charles, Illinois, in her first season after transferring from UCLA, replacing Casbar, the freshman on the left. Rachel Lim has also come in the midfield, number 28 in white for Florida State. Both sides getting some fresh legs out there.
Is Lauren Schweitzer?
She was in the starting lineup early in the season for Florida State and has been coming off the bench since. Weisenhofer. Mendoza tried to slide it through to Bach. Clark coming up to try and take it. And ricocheted off her arm as she was sliding down. Whistle will give it to Florida State. Under 15 minutes to go in the first half of a 1-1 tie. Yamaguchi in the first minute for Florida State, and Carrie Dew in the 15th minute for the Fighting Irish.
Right now, Florida State is playing a little bit too central. They got to get their wide players. They got to create with and then recreate with, try to spread out this Notre Dame defense. Maybe make some room for Talonen and Yamaguchi. Whoa, you can't.
Schmidt will inbound to Yamaguchi.
You can't cross over this platform.
Vandeven back to Becky Edwards. Now DaCosta. She's been a dynamo in the midfield, pushing forward. Sliding it wide, Schweitzer tries to find Talonen in front. Yamaguchi with the ball at her feet, and the diving stop made by Folks, denying her access to the goal. Big play by the freshman from Lee's Summit, Missouri. And now here comes Florida State again, knocked down by Sinali.
That's Erica Sutton coming forward out of her right back position, and she's very, very important to the Florida State attack.
Be better, guys. Gotta be
First corner now for the Seminoles. Yamaguchi will take it. Karras, she'll have to battle the sun on this kick. Coming near post and headed out by the Irish defense. Yamaguchi will try again. Talonen tried to get a head up on it. The Irish got there first. Hanks. Nice defense by Gianeskis. Edwards content to hang on and redirect to the left side. Yamaguchi sliding it through to Talonen. She's onside, and she scores! The finishing Finn with her 8th goal of the NCAA tournament, and the Seminoles are back on top 2-1. Yamaguchi and Talonen have now scored or assisted on 14 of their 16 goals so far in the postseason.
Again, great little diagonal run by Talonen. Excellent little finishing pass by Yamaguchi. Karras coming hard again and gets beat with a little side of the foot pass into the corner of the goal. Now what happens, Beth, is that TV timeout has helped Florida State a lot. They're more patient in attack. They're getting better possession. They are using their width a little bit. Yamaguchi's getting a lot more touches since that break.
The Irish fall behind again for just the second time in this tournament. Schweitzer misfired. Now Gianeskis gives it away. Carrie Hanks Trying to slide through a couple of defenders. Becky Edwards denies her. Hard tackle on Schmidt by Clark.
Foul called on Notre Dame.
Here's another look, Yamaguchi to Talonen.
Ball's played in. Yamaguchi gets it, sees the run, slips the ball in between the two central defenders. Talonen sees Karras coming hard and just slips it by her. Offsides this time.
Talonen is making another run down the left.
But that's the best qualities of forwards. There's a couple things you need from forwards. One's to hold the ball back to goal. Another one is mobility up top. And Talonen is now showing some great mobility.
Well, we talked to Yamaguchi yesterday about the freshman. She said that the strength is her speed and her physicality. She was able to use both on those, and they are really starting to feel much more comfortable together out there in their first season up top for Florida State. And boy, have they come together at the right time here in the NCAA tournament. Responsible for 14 of their 16 goals now, and they've had a hand in both of them today.
Looks like Pinnock has come in for Sanali, and Bach has dropped into the midfield.
This is something that Randy Waldrum has done all year with the injury to Weisenhofer. Not quite back to 90 minutes yet. When Weisenhofer goes out, they will slide Bach back. Yamaguchi from Talonen. In the midfield, VDV plays it back to Edwards. Under 10 minutes to go. There's a look at Sarah Wagenfer, who's over on the Florida State bench. We talked about the defining moment for North Carolina early in the season when they had a losing record. Well, for Florida State, it was the injury to Sarah Wagenfer, who is the leader of this Florida State team and still is, even though she can't play anymore due to the injury. But the team really came together when she went out midway through the year. And Tony, that has worked to really steal them, and something that you see often when one player that's so critical goes down, everybody else starts to elevate their games just a little bit.
Exactly, Beth. Everybody knows they need to pick it up just a bit, and they become a better team, even though they've lost a key player.
And Quinn Kesnick has more on Wags.
Yeah, Beth, I watched her. She actually warmed up with the team, and she remains one of their leaders, sort of like an assistant coach going through that knee rehab. Very, very involved, selfless on the sideline, and just offering constant positive encouragement. She's a very loud and spontaneous on the side.
Yeah, Mark Krikorian said she's as good a leader as he has ever come across, and that's in the professional ranks and with U.S. national teams as well. She has really stayed connected and been such a positive influence on this Florida State team, particularly the 4 freshmen in the starting lineup. It has helped guide them and know what to expect in this kind of situation.
You can see that Florida State is now starting to use Erica Sutton on the right back to get into the attack and for possession. I think that's going to be good for them to try to spread out the Notre Dame defense. But if they give the ball away easily, Notre Dame in transition is very, very good.
Scheidler moving forward. Looking to go wide and fast over the near touchline. Let's take a look now at the Coke Zero game track. The fastest goal in College Cup history for the Seminoles, just 15 seconds after the opening kickoff. Yamaguchi from DaCosta. And then Carrie Dew on the corner kick, redirected in front and ricocheted off the defender and into the back of the net. And then Sana Talonen from Yamaguchi in the 33rd minute, sliding it by Karras into the right panel netting. And it's 2-1 Florida State. looking to break through. They've been here. This is their 4th trip to the Cup, including the last 3 in a row, and they have yet to advance to the championship.
Excellent use of the width there by Florida State. Unfortunately, it looks like it might have slipped out of bounds or she was offside.
We'll catch every serve, set, and spike of the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship on ESPNU tonight with 2 regional semifinal games from Palo Alto. First up at 10 Eastern, it's UCLA and Oregon, and then at 12:30 a.m. Eastern, the #1 overall seed in the championship, the Stanford Cardinal, will take on Cal Poly. The NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship presented on ESPNU by Enterprise Rent-A-Car on ESPNU tonight. And then we will have all 4 of the region finals on ESPNU tomorrow. Check your local listings for when they will air in your area. And of course, the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championships coming your way on the ESPN family of networks next weekend from Sacramento.
Free kick, Duke took down Talonen.
Harris goes up and takes it right off the top of Talonen's head and handles. Just an absolutely gorgeous day here in College Station, and a capacity crowd at the Aggies Soccer Stadium to watch the first of our 2 national semifinals. 2-1 Florida State with the lead over Notre Dame. Coming up next, UCLA and Southern Cal. Beth Bowens, along with Tony DeChico, former U.S. national coach, who will be coaching them up with the Boston Breakers when the new Women's Pro League starts up in a couple of years.
Very excited for that opportunity.
Quick Kesnick also with us here at the women's finals. Reminder, also coming up next weekend on the ESPN family of networks will be the men's finals from Cary, North Carolina. Under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. And we've seen a big shift here since that media timeout midway through this first half. The Irish had the momentum going into it, and coming out, it's been all FSU.
Well, that's, there's no timeouts in soccer, but that media timeout certainly helped Florida State. I think Coach Krikorian was able to settle them down, get them back to playing. But they can't give up the ball like this because Notre Dame is so dangerous in counterattack situations.
Not good service that time from Mendoza, and the Seminoles will head the other way with it. Becky Edwards has some time.
Again, Erica Sutton coming forward.
She'll push up that right flank. Uncontested. The cross cleared out by Folks. Good hustle play by Notre Dame to keep it alive, and now Carrie Hanks with a full head of steam. Running with Weisenhofer and Pinnock. We'll check that Bach and Pinnock. And dispossessed by Van de Ven. 3.5 to go here in the first half.
Controversy on the throw-in, but Schweitzer has also given Florida State some good play since she's come into the game.
Foul's going to be called on the sliding tackle by Scheidler, taking down Schweitzer, and now Edwards will come forward to take the free kick. Under 3 minutes to go here in the half. Edwards waiting for Talonen to get into place on the edge of the box. Not going to make it through to Sana. Notre Dame's got it. Ashley Jones, who is into the lineup, number 12 in blue, trying to take it away. Talonen wanted to give and go. Notre Dame covered it.
We're seeing Yamaguchi now a little bit deeper. Either she's doing that just to come and get the ball, or she's actually playing in the midfield. Sometimes Krikorian does change it up a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like they've moved to just the one attacker now up top with Talonen. Yamaguchi making a deep run, but Edwards couldn't find her. Now Ashley Jones, the burst of speed from Schweitzer, and Ashley Plays that one over the end line.
Fans, don't forget about
Catch the second Women's College Cup semifinal tonight on ESPNU as Pac-10 rivals meet, with USC taking on #1 ranked UCLA. The NCAA Women's College Cup presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Coming up at 7:30 on ESPNU. Good look at Southern Cal, their first trip to the Women's College Cup. UCLA has been here a bunch.
Yeah, that's going to be a great matchup. Schools are 13 miles apart, so they know each other very well. Notre Dame needs to be more patient in their attack. They're trying to squeeze the ball through numbers in the center, and they've got wide open players on the flank. Get it wide, then get some service in.
1 minute to go.
1 minute. 1 minute remaining
in the first half.
1 minute.
.45 seconds to play now in this first half. Irish try and keep it in play. And it's off of Florida State. Hanks will hustle to get the throw in under 30 seconds to go. No stoppage time added in college soccer. They will play to the 45-minute mark. And the whistle will blow. Looks like the Seminoles will be content to take that 2-1 lead into the locker room.
6, 5, 4,
on goals by Yamaguchi and Talonen, the two that have carried them throughout this NCAA tournament. And they've got the lead over the Fighting Irish here at the break. Yamaguchi, the quickest goal in the history of the tournament here at the College Cup. Just 15 seconds into the game. Talonen added to it. Kerry Dew, the goal scorer for Notre Dame. And let's go down to the field with Quint Kesnick.
I'm joined by Mark Krikorian. At the media timeout, there was kind of a subtle shift in this game. What did you tell your team?
Well, we think that we need to just settle the game down and make it more into a soccer game and make it a little bit less physical, less confrontational. And if we can get the ball to the ground and start passing the ball, moving without the ball, it's going to be an advantage to us. And I think we did better as it went on. The wind was, I think, a reasonably strong factor. So second half, hopefully the wind will keep blowing and we get into our advantage.
15 seconds in, Yamaguchi scores the goal. What went through your mind at that point?
Well, we work on that at practice every day, to be fair. No, it's a good start for us. And, you know, those things happen on occasion. It's kind of a fluke, but it was a good start for us.
Thanks, Coach. Beth.
Thank you very much, Quint. Florida State with the lead over Notre Dame, 2-1 at the half of our first national semifinal. Let's go back to the studio now with 1991 World Cup winner Wendy Gebauer-Palladino. She's joining Lowell Galindo. And welcome back to the Women's College Cup, our first semifinal at the half. Florida State with the lead over Notre Dame. Yamaguchi and Talonen with the tallies for FSU. Kerry Dew with the lone strike for the Fighting Irish. Beth Mullins along with Tony DeChico. And Tony, quite a change after Notre Dame had tied it up. Florida State seized the momentum right back.
Well, even though it was 1-1, the game was being played the way Notre Dame wants to play games. Aggressive, balls forward quickly, a lot of set pieces. After the media timeout, I think Mark Krikorian settled them down. They got back to their soccer, and now they have the lead.
Couldn't have started out any better as we take a look at the highlights. How about this 15 seconds into the match? Memi Yamaguchi's going to deliver.
Well, it's a giveaway by Notre Dame. DaCosta gets it and just puts an excellent ball through. Karras comes but doesn't claim, and Yamaguchi just slides it under her as she's starting her slide to win the ball.
That came in the first minute. Then in the 15th, off the corner kick, it's Kerry Dew.
Well, Kerry Dew gets on the backside of this. She gets a good look at it, volleys it, it's deflected off Florida State player, and it's in the back of the net.
And then Talonen grabbed the lead right back in the 33rd minute.
And Yamaguchi gives her this pass. Again, Karras comes hard, but if you're not going to win the ball first, you're better off to come out, stand up, and try to make them beat you that way.
Here's how the statistics look, and what Mark Krikorian was alluding to, talking to Quint Kesnick heading into the locker room. A big foul discrepancy towards the Irish playing physical.
Well, Mark Krikorian wants this game to be called tightly by the official. I think he's getting that type of game.
The Irish trailing the Seminoles at the half, 2-1, Florida State. Back for the second half right after this.